Warning, Caffeinated Conquest features adult nerds using adult language. Seriously, don't say we didn't warn you.
All right, everybody ready to go?
Listo.
So, for our viewers, this is a Vampire Chronicle set in the 1940s, 1944 specifically. We are using the Vampire 20th Anniversary Edition rules. And just as a heads up, there are some minor differences between Los Angeles by Night and Anarchs Unbound. So, wherever there was a difference, I have deferred to Los Angeles by Night as the original text. Everybody ready? Know what they're doing? Got their plans on for tonight?
I guess.
Then we start with Bob.
Alphabetical order. Fucking hate these places.
It is August 4th, 1944. A warm summer night. The humidity coming off the ocean is extra thick tonight, and your clothes feel about 3 times heavier clinging to your skin. A bright full moon peeks through a very oppressive array of clouds and assists the feeble streetlights as the car that you're in takes a turn and heads towards downtown. You're currently in the back of the car with Salvador Garcia, the Hispanic gentleman that pulled you off of the roof and very narrowly saved you from being burned by the sun. In the front seat is one of his ghoul retainers. So what would you like to do?
Yo, Sal, you know where to score?
Where to score?
I'm looking for a little bit of that, smack the brown shit. I'm kind of jonesing right now.
Oh shit is brown.
Don't be such a fucking fuck.
Disembodied voices in the car.
He says, see, I might be able to help you with this. So, I apologize, but it is, como se dice, formality. The prince of this city can make your life a living hell if we do not at least pretend to play by his rules. So, to make sure you get a fair chance, it is time to introduce yourself. It doesn't appear that your previous sire did that.
No, he didn't. I'm telling you, I need to calm down. This shit's really fucking with me. But if you want me to, I'll go in there. I hope I don't piss anyone off, like you say.
Just keep in mind, amigo, this city will tear you apart. That is more literal now than ever. The car pulls up in front of this art gallery that has no business being open. At this hour of night, it's about 8 o'clock. And you can see that there's a number of cars that just sort of line up, drop off a passenger, and pull away. As you open the door, Salvador says to you, remember, amigo, we are meeting tonight at 1. The restaurant over on, and he gives you the address.
Thanks.
Don't mark it on your map.
Don't mark it on my map. Where's this shit located? As I pull out my little notepad.
He's told you about it a couple times. You pretty much know where it's at.
It's not.
But
Thanks
it's
a
not
lot.
on my GPS.
Alrighty then. I guess I'll go introduce myself. Don't you go choke on a burrito.
As you get out, he puts his hand on your shoulder and he says, I know you do not wish to be what you are. You are not alone in that regard. As little love as I have for the Camarilla, we need the Masquerade. And if you cannot abide by it, for the protection of us all, I would suggest you find a patch of sunlight to introduce yourself to. Beyond that, there are rules that must be abided by. So go in there and remember, Whatever you say can and will be used against you, huh?
I suggest you kiss the sunny part of my ass.
We don't have those anymore.
Have a good night, sir.
He chuckles to himself and slaps you on the shoulder. Sal's a bit of a joker.
I might like you. I might.
Are you sure?
As you exit the car, there's a taxi cab right in front of you. JJ, you step out of a taxi cab looking at this very ostentatious, sort of rundown looking art gallery. You're a little uncomfortable. You've never really been in a major urban center like this before.
No, would I have to change my name to something stupid like Jones?
Right.
All you know is that Hasid has informed you that if you're going to be taking up residence in the city for a while, best introduce yourself to the prince. And as you stare, sort of pondering the double doors that are just held open right now, a man in a black leather coat seems to be heading in the same direction.
I'm vigorously scratching myself.
I'll keep my hand on my knife, but I'll walk up.
Who the fuck are you?
You don't see me? Looking the other way, you got your sunglasses on tonight.
You can spot a dark-skinned motherfucker from a mile away.
Oh, God.
It's the world of darkness.
I mean, it's better than being, a pedophile.
This is true. This is true.
Oh, man. So did she, smell me? Or...
Do you have a towel wrapped around your nose?
Oh, my God.
What do you look like?
I don't have a towel wrapped around my head.
Mm-hmm.
Because
God.
that's not his religion. No, I might just got scrappy looking clothes because he hasn't actually gone shopping. Just got here.
Mm-hmm. Like scrappy, like
you bought it at the airport.
Oh, okay. All right.
Just like something to put on. Just...
I imagine you're here for possibly the same reason that I am.
To meet somebody?
Meet someone? Don't meet someone? Do I need to fucking hate you too? What's your name?
I feel like your tongue wouldn't quite grasp it, so just call me JJ.
JJ. I had a buddy named that once. Well, shall we?
Proceed.
You sort of, as you move towards the door, before the double doors, there's sort of a largish man in a very, very well-tailored suit, has a rose pinned to one lapel, and he sort of looks you up and down as you approach. Evening, gentlemen, may I help you?
I don't know if you could or if you can't. Do you have some drugs?
I'll be confused as to who we're meeting. Am I at the right place?
I'm not certain what you've been told, sir. This is a private meeting. If you do not have business here, please continue.
Well, you talk a lot, and that wastes my time. So,
Oh my God.
we'll come and meet your friend here. I mean, not too much disrespect. I'm just a little bit antsy right now.
I see. And who are you here to meet?
Don Sebastian.
Ah, yes. Go inside and ask for Maria. She will,
Oh man, she's gonna die.
she will get you sorted out. Enjoy yourselves.
Thanks, my good sir.
They'll sort of wave you in as you enter. You can hear the very faint sound of music coming from somewhere deeper in the art gallery. And there are these sort of just lines of candelabra that sort of just form a path into the darkness. And you can see that the other paths throughout the museum are roped off standard velvet rope stuff. It's all just complete darkness. And the candelabras lead through a very specific path towards the back. As you sort of traverse the path, the smell of perfume and incense just barely begins to tingle your nose.
Two gots, this place is fancy.
I've seen better.
You think you're better than me?
That took like 5 minutes. You think you're better than me? Cali number 1. I'm just gonna tell you the entire chronicle every time the Bob says that. Yeah.
Who's better is not in question here. I think that answer is obvious.
No. That is one.
Look, they told me to be polite while I'm here, so I'm gonna be polite. Try and keep my mouth shut. Let's just get this shit over with.
Please do that for both our sakes. I'll continue down the hall.
As you continue, it eventually ends in a set of double doors, and they're very ornately decorated. They have like these tapestries with the symbol of a rose hanging off both of them on a very, very fine purple velvet.
It's not silk.
So you push through the doors. And as you push open the doors, the music gets much louder and just basically blasts you. The scent of perfume and roses is thick in the air.
I think you mean sickening.
You can see very large crowds gathered around what appear to be these statues. They appear to be gilded, if not solid gold. And moving throughout the crowds, there are some sort of servants, perhaps the ghouls that you've heard so much about, moving about with these trays of empty glasses. And you can see that some of the patrons at this party take the glass and put it in one of the hands of the statues. And as the hand moves down, this decanter in the statue's arm begins to fill with water and blood into the glass.
They need to water it down because it's kind of strong.
And everyone just sort of murmurs and is amazed. And off to one corner of the gallery, there's a live band just playing classical music of some of the finest quality you've ever seen.
What a strange land where I can see music.
Scattered throughout the center is a great many different tables. There doesn't seem to be any kind of food or catering of any sort, but some people sit at the tables and congregate. And in the very back of this room, on sort of a raised makeshift stage, you can see a very ornate, what appears to be a throne, carved from a single piece of wood, and just etched with Spanish heraldry and the images of roses and different affectures of nobility.
I personally am disgusted at this. Not my character, though.
I rub some fabrics. My mother wouldn't like some of this shit.
I was going to make a comment, but I'll hold that back.
Motherfucker. Kind of stifle myself. Fucking need some fucking drugs here. The music pounds in my head. It's very annoying.
So who am I supposed to be looking for? Or I'm supposed to be looking for Maria.
Right.
Who looks like a Maria?
There appears to be a sizable number of people that appear to be of Spanish descent in the area. There's quite a few who obviously are not.
Any of them with question marks over their head? Perhaps they're glowing.
So, you were sitting at a table with Louis Fortier, the Ventru primogen of the city.
Are we on a first name basis?
If you want.
What was his name?
Sure.
Louis Fortier. And you sit there, and Louis cranes his gaze over to the door as these two strangers walk in. And he says to you, Mon Dieu, there are new faces here every night. Ugh, the domain can scarcely afford more of them.
Yeah, it's really working on the pocketbooks.
Is he complaining about immigrants?
It's not the pocketbooks I'm afraid of, it's the Masquerade. There aren't supposed to be this many in a domain, and it's unfortunate, too.
I've been a vampire for less than half of a decade now. Do vampires have plagues? We might need a plague.
It's the failure of leadership, I say. If these vampires had a strong enough leader in their own domain, perhaps they wouldn't feel compelled to come here. What say you?
Pardon my French, but I agree. I think Don Sebastian's a bit of a, how do you say it, a dick.
I have no hatred for the prince. I just think he lacks a certain je ne sais quoi, so to speak.
So you don't know what he likes?
He does not care for his subjects the way a subject should be cared for, the way a nobleman should care for his subjects. I've tried to tell him, but he does not listen.
Yeah. Each his own. I don't have any love for the guy myself.
Louis begins to just sort of turn away from the door. And he sort of does a double take. And he says, you might be in for a treat tonight.
Oh, what are we talking about? I hope it's not the glasses, because I've been smelling them. Nothing I can drink yet.
Well, God knows where Don Sebastian got this supply from. No, follow me. Be extremely polite and don't touch anything without asking. And he leads you over to one of the statues. And standing in front of the statue, there's a very tall, very pale man that seems to be scrutinizing the statues. That's where you come in, Tom. So you obviously recognize these statues as sort of an adaptation of an invention by Heron of Alexandria. He was an ancient Greek inventor who built a statue like this just to entertain party guests. And the ancient Greeks would put a glass in its hand and would fill it with water and wine. The Greeks liked their wine diluted. And Louis and you come strolling up, and he says, Mr. Byrick Ash, how are you today?
Greetings.
He will sort of bow to you politely. He'll say, Mark, this here is a true treasure. One of Clan Kiasid, I believe.
That is what I'm called.
He doesn't quite make it out much, but he's a scholar much like yourself. Mr. Ash, this here is a rather new acquaintance of mine, Mark Zantz. Although I believe his scholarly pursuits lie more in the field of finance, if I am not mistaken.
Finances, and there's some interesting stuff going on at the Jet Propulsion Labs I'm thinking about investing in, and of course I make a lot of money off of investing in some of these Hollywood films. Not this grand sort of art.
Intrigue and pleasure.
What do I roll to try to say something insightful about the art I'm looking at?
Let's go intelligence craft.
Murky.
And as he's sort of like pondering to himself to say something insightful, Louis says, Mr. Ash, I can only imagine the hardships of living in a city without a primogen of your own to represent you, and I would like to extend the offer that should you have any needs, that you will come to Clan Ventru, that perhaps we can be of assistance.
The offer is appreciated, though I'm going to have to decline.
Fair enough, I understand one must keep to oneself, especially in a culture such as ours. However, Friends can be a great boon, and again, if you were to reconsider, my ear will be open to you.
Apologies, but that part of the conversation is over.
Yeah.
3 successes.
3 successes. So what exactly would you like to say? There's a good number of paintings along the wall. There appears to be one that's, for lack of a better term, enshrined. Apparently titled The Gates of Heaven, which seems amateurish at best, but the vampires that are gathered around it seem to be making quite a big deal of it. And just fawning over it, going on and on. You're not really finding anything particularly that special about it.
Say, old Mr. Ash. Well, just I shall let you know, Mr. Louis over here isn't such a bad guy for being a venture myself and not getting along with most of my own kind.
And for a venture, he's tolerable.
Over your shoulder, you hear a voice. Beg pardon, Louis, we have business. As you turn, you can see Victor Armitage and a woman that you only know as Drusilla, the Malkavian and Gangrel primogen, respectively.
What?
Malkavian and
No.
Gangrel.
Victor was last
Victor Armitage.
The woman is both the gangrel and the
And Victor sort of nods to you. Mark, beg pardon, you had quite a interesting name. Bork, was it?
It is Byrick,
Yes.
and I will be addressed as so.
Ah, yes, of course. Louis, if you please. And Louis will politely excuse himself and abscond into the depths of the Elysium.
I think you should become a pimp. So they'll call you Papa Smurf.
It's Byrick Ash, right? The name.
That's correct.
So you prefer Byrick or Mr. Ash?
I provided you with the name Byrick.
Okay. What do you think about that Gates of Heaven piece over there? It kind of looks like a shell-shocked 4-year-old painted it with their fingers.
It's shit.
I don't see what everybody else sees in it.
Do I have some insight being from the library?
As far as art, off the top of my head, were there Toreador among the Sabbat librarians? I'll give you an intelligence crafts if you like to, unless, how would you like to analyze it? Are you like sort of going through like art through the ages? Or is this more of like a, just your general opinion?
Art that's how do you say? Influential with the kindred.
Influential with the kindred. In that case, I'd like you to roll a wits politics, please.
Worse.
I totally have that roll.
2 successes.
First time I've ever said that on a politics roll.
Los Angeles is pretty much a Toreador-controlled city at this point. And the Toreador here, you've traveled around quite a bit since your embrace before landing in Los Angeles, and you've gotten a pretty good gist of the Toreador. They're artists, they're performers, they're very much look at me. Los Angeles seems to have gathered a lot of Toreador who are, for lack of a better word, posers. They seem to come here so they're not really expected of much. So there is a, how to put it, there's a pattern of them basically just kissing each other's asses. Now, you're not exactly certain who did the art. In fact, it's uncredited. But it pretty much looks like it was painted by a 10-year-old.
Wow. Not even an Asian 10-year-old?
Racism is only okay if it's your character, okay? I mean, it's pretty good for a 10-year-old, but a 10-year-old.
Is that where my instinctive what the hell's the big deal about is coming from?
Probably.
amateurs and attention grovel and kind.
I think the Camarilla in general just seems to attract those sorts of types, but just as bad in LA as it was in New York, I think.
I'm not too familiar with Camarilla.
I'm not too big on him either, from what I do know about him. Don't tell anybody I told you that. You seem like I can trust you.
You seem like I can trust you, strange, freakish man I met 5 minutes ago.
By
By the way, it's a good thing that we're not in a society of murderous, predatory backstabbers or anything.
I like the cut of your jib, sir. You seem like you could take a man out in a fight. I appreciate that. I don't say that out loud. That's why I'm talking to him.
Because he can just read your mind.
Suddenly, the double doors open up again, and there's sort of a hush falls over the room. From where you're standing, you can't quite see who came in, but the hush is suddenly broken by an "Aha! Our glorious benefactor!" and then laughter just ripples through the room for a moment.
The financier of the party has arrived.
His alliance is the elementary school down the street.